So, hi there. Welcome to another episode of Sustainability Made Easy. There are a lot of businesses I know out there who get a request to do human rights due diligence from their client or from their investor or some other party. And then they start on this whole exercise without knowing what is human rights due diligence. And you know what that causes them? It causes them to go back to the audit systems. It causes them to actually lose money and time and sometimes brand value and actually go nowhere. It loses customer trust, it loses investor trust. In many places I've seen investors just walk out because they are not wanting to do business with companies don't understand the human rights due diligence. So I'm Rishi Sher Singh. I am a sustainability coach and I have been implementing sustainability for the past 25 years in factories and farms, and human rights due diligence has been an important part of my work. I've worked with many businesses across the world and also across India to implement human rights due diligence. In my last episode, I spoke about the human rights due diligence process, which is a 5 step process. It also has an additional 1 step. So it creates a 5+1 process. The whole idea is about continuous improvement, putting people into the center of your decision making in the business, strategy, operations, R&D, to make sure businesses do not do any negative impact on humans. If they do, then you are in a place that you can take action on it, preventive action on it, and also corrective action on it. That is about human rights due diligence process. And as we have heard in the COVID days, there's no people, there's no business. So businesses understand this very well. It still depends a lot on people, whether it is on consumers, whether they are employees, whether they are suppliers, whether they are service providers. Without people, it's difficult to run business. So let's get on with it. Step one of the human rights due diligence process, as we discussed last time, is about creating a policy, a human rights policy, and embedding that into your management systems. I'll tell you about some few tips on how you can do that. The idea about creating a policy, it has to be a very practical, speaking the values of your company. I see many companies already have great values they're using to run their business. Use them, create that policy, write down the kind of areas which are important to your business, your sector. In what are the areas you really respect rights of people, write it down. It is your sector specific and also your business specific. Keep it simple, not very long. Don't make it like a PhD degree. It has to be short, which everybody can understand in an English or language which everybody can understand. I've seen companies also creating policies in multiple languages. Let me tell you a good news. Many of you companies would have already implemented ISO 9000, 14001, SA 8000 or other standards. It's the same process of creating a policy, putting your heart in it, your values in it, and making it in a format which people can read and understand. The second is about defining roles and responsibilities. I see many companies make this mistake is they put all the responsibility of sustainability on one person. It doesn't work. We have seen it doesn't work. It's because when that person leaves, uh, your sustainability program is going to leave. Also, as you have seen in ISO 9000, 14000, in other standards, to do continuous improvement in your workplace, you need a cross-functional team. You need people from various departments, divisions. It can't be done by one person. Especially people who are in operations, they have to get involved in it, because without them being in it, it's very difficult to really bring the change. People in supply chain, procurement, finance, giving roles and responsibilities. So the tip is create a multidisciplinary team, cross-functional team, bring people together, give them roles and responsibilities. And I've seen in family run businesses, normally it is actually chaired by somebody from the family who has the power of making decisions, who has the oversight of what's going on, and can actually inspire and enable a team like that. The third is about creating some kind of a communication around this within your company, whether it is your own employees, contractors, suppliers. Tell people about the journey you embarked on, your policy, and what you believe in. Send them letters, emails, or even like calling them for a forum or having one-on-one conversation. There's so many ways of doing it. Today we have technology. I've seen companies sending messages on WhatsApp to their employees, letting them know the values they stand for. Uh, Another thing which is related to communication is training. HRDD is a subject which can get technical very quickly. There is a process, there is a structure, there are metrics in place. Don't assume that this is going to be another audit system. So, training people is very important. However, training them in a language and in a process in which it is closer to the work they do. For example, I've seen owner of companies, and business owners or directors or board of directors, they would like to know how would human rights due diligence, HRDD, add to the top line, bottom line of the business, brand value, increase clients, increase, the satisfaction of the people who work in that company, create more efficiency and effectiveness. On the other side, if you go and talk to a worker, that person just wants to know how will it make my life better. you know I am at the bottom of the pyramid. How does my work, my life get better? And it requires a very different format. Workers need shorter trainings, they can't sit in training rooms for long. So making sure that you have the right training program and facilitators to do that. Last but not least is creating some kind of a monitoring system around making sure people meet regularly, talk regularly on this subject, the team meets, there's accountability in place, and something goes wrong, then they know whom to approach to, and then how to get this resolved. So this is in short the first step of human rights due diligence process. It already has many multiple steps, but it's not that difficult. It's about getting a policy in place which is practicable and readable, and people can relate to it. It echoes your values of your company and the business you set up. It's about having a cross-functional team in place, training the team, communicating your policy within the company and to suppliers or interested parties as well, and having some monitoring mechanism where this whole thing about creating a policy is like a snowball effect. It becomes bigger for the company to actually create improvements on the ground. In the next episode, I will talk about the next step, which is a very important step, about assessing what kind of gaps you have in your business. But if you want to learn about any topic in HRDD or ESG, do drop in a comment. I'll do my best from my experience of 25 years to take up that topic. And in the coming days, I'll be sharing more topics. If you liked what you heard today and it gave you practical sense, do like or comment in the channels I'll post this video on. And I'll see you next time with more information about HRDD and ESG and how to make it more practical for your business. Good luck.